Hi, and welcome to another Boom Web Search Technology explanatory video. Today we're going to be explaining what keyloggers are. We're also going to be explaining a really important software security patch released by Microsoft, which goes against a vulnerability known as BlueKeep on some older operating systems, so basically Windows 7-ish and down. This does not affect Windows 8 or Windows 10, so it's pretty much Windows 7 and lower. And we're going to be explaining the BlueKeep security update patch released by Microsoft and why it's important, as well as the main point of today's video, which is going to be explaining what keyloggers are and how you can protect yourself against getting keylogger based malware right after we roll out our short video intro segment. Okay, so let's go right into our first important topic of this video, which is going to be to explain the BlueKeep based vulnerability which relies on an exploit. So this is an important Windows security notice. So there's a patch which was recently released by Microsoft against the BlueKeep exploit based vulnerability. If you're running a Windows based device and are watching this video, then I want to warn you of a recent patch, and that's going against the BlueKeep exploit. And what the BlueKeep exploit basically does is it goes and basically breaks your remote desktop services function in order to utilize it against you to use your computer to execute certain commands and code without your knowledge and without needing the password, even if you have one set on your remote desktop services command of Windows. So the function of Windows for remote desktop services is for you to allow other computers to connect to your computer. And let's say it's, for example, a computer service person from a local shop that wants to connect to your computer and do some updates or something, then this allows them to do that. Although it can be used in a negative way by attackers, because they can then use it to execute some code that could do some serious damage that you don't want, obviously. Even if you have password set, this exploit vulnerability is basically going to bypass it. So the security experts are analyzing that there's around 1 million computers out there that are vulnerable to this. So even the NSA has been advising people recently to make sure that their computers are up to date. So this is quite important. Although, as I know of at the moment, there's not any viruses that have been spread and recorded. Although we don't want to wait until it's too late, because the attackers are already probably working on malware right now for these systems that don't have this patch yet. So please don't take the risk and make sure you go directly to Microsoft and get this patch. Let's see through my notes here what I need to cover pertaining to the BlueKeep exploit. I know that these updates are usually really annoying to run, especially being a Windows 10 user. I do agree that Microsoft needs to work on maybe making updates like more spread out, and maybe like more options for users when it comes to updates, because sometimes Windows updates when it's not most convenient or when you're working on something. So that's definitely something that Microsoft should work on. I think that there's some feature only on the professional version of Windows 10 that allows you to do it for another 35 days, although usually that should be extended until whatever you want, pretty much, like within, let's say, a few months, so at least you have time to plan out and update. Although maybe they're right in some ways for the security updates, so maybe they should have something where the security updates go first, and then the feature and software they let you postpone for basically maybe as long as you want or something. So maybe that's something Microsoft should take into account. Although, here's a few other notes on this topic. This will not affect Windows 8 or Windows 10, as I said in the beginning of this video, so it's pretty much older versions like Windows XP, Vista, Windows 7, Windows Server version 2008 or 2003, and potentially some more on other gadgets that run Windows even. So in that case, this patch is released by Microsoft against the BlueKeep vulnerability, so make sure you go to Microsoft immediately and get this patch if you haven't done already, and have operating system, which I mentioned here especially. And I'm going to link an article which gives you more information on this in the video description, provided by AVG, and some more instructions on updating. Explaining malware and keyloggers in general. Malware is defined as being a piece of computer software which purposely is designed to gain access to a computer system and cause harm to it without the direct consent of the user. Keyloggers usually harm the computer data and not the computer itself. Well, the computer itself less than the data, obviously. Although some other malware types that we've discussed focus on damaging the computer itself and locking it up, although this focus is more on harvesting login credentials and data and things of that nature. So a cyber criminal usually makes this type of keylogger software, and they damage a user's data security by intercepting the keyboard signals from the computer and sending it to a host server, usually run by a compromising data criminal, and it listens in to all your keyboard inputs in hopes of finding some personal information or sensitive login credentials or things like that, and that could cause harm in the end. So they could also use that to log into other computer networks, steal online banking information and money, and even intercept email data. So keyloggers can basically cause a lot of damage, so we need to make sure that our computers are safe against getting keyloggers, and we take some precautions, which I will mention in the later part of this video. So how can keyloggers get into my computer system? Keyloggers can be embedded into other programs which you may want, such as a free piece of computer software, through being a Trojan horse in a way, within an email sent to you, or within a website that you accidentally happen to visit, which contains a keylogger malware. Keyloggers, like other types of malware, have so many possibilities and ways to infiltrate the computer system and spread within computer networking, so it's pretty important to make sure that you're preventing getting infected with this hidden piece of software that seeks to obtain what you type into your computer and later use it against you, as in terms of compromising your data information / security. Our next topic is going to be against these malware types and keyloggers. So we're going to be exploring some antivirus / malware options and prevention against keyloggers. Paid software includes Bitdefender, McAfee, Norton, and Kaspersky Secure Scan, and these seek to effectively remove keyloggers and prevent them from running on your system, along with free programs that work around as well, such as Malware. Although taking precautions before your antivirus is always better in order to protect yourself. So there's currently no antivirus able to protect you against all viruses and all malware all the time. So precautions include not visiting suspicious websites, clicking on email attachments without knowing if they're completely safe or whom they're from, or even not downloading freeware programs that you don't necessarily know of or that have a trusted reputation score, are a few first line of defense strategies against keyloggers and other malware types being added onto your computer system. Just a quick note here, I'd like to add that there's many softwares, even some paid ones apparently, that are offered at a lower price for download by users, and when you download and install them, they still can cause harm even if you paid for it. But most of the times these are freeware options, so make sure if you're downloading some freeware from an untrusted site that you take a second look before you choose to download and install. Tracking and logging activities of keyloggers. Because of the nature of keyloggers, if you have data being sent when your computer isn't being used to type anything, assuming that you're not using an online cloud file service, then the chances of your computer having a keylogger are quite high, especially if you don't observe any other network activity from other installed programs that interact with the internet. Basically, if your computer is at idle without being interfered with from other programs connecting to the internet, and when you're typing on, let's say, a blank document on the operating system, and you notice that data is being sent every time you type, and then going off every time you don't type, then basically there's a high chance of having a keylogger. And the way keyloggers work is they use kind of a database strategy in collecting keystroke information. They record the time that the data was collected, the program client used to type the data by the user, the IP address of the client, which usually will be used in a bad way by the attacker to take advantage of the information in ways such as compromising and using login credentials, knowing sensitive information, and even making unauthorized purchases. Disclosure statement time. Note that all the organizations / services / products which were featured within this video are essentially being referenced to for the purposes of this video, and that this video is not sponsored in any way by any third party. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video generally towards computer software. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, parentheses Boom Webster, if you have not done so already, and have your bell notifications turned on to prevent missing future content uploads. Note that the bell icon only appears to the right of the subscribe button after you've selected subscribe beforehand. If you have future video suggestions pertaining to subjects of computer hardware / software, technology topics explained, how technology works, or basically anything tech related, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next content upload. Bye!